Now, welcome to the Bulletin. The United States has that it's forming a new Indo-Pacific security alliance with Britain and Australia that will allow for greater sharing of defense capabilities. Under the deal, Australia will build 8 nuclear-powered submarines. The 3 countries have agreed to share information in areas including artificial intelligence, cyber, and underwater defense capabilities. But the plan has been condemned as a provocative move by China. President Biden, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, and Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison appeared together virtually to detail the new alliance, which will be called AUKUS.
Today, we're taking another historic step to deepen and formalize cooperation among all 3 of our nations, because we all recognize the imperative of ensuring peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific over the long term. We need to be able to address both the current strategic environment in the region and how it may evolve, because the future of each of our nations, and indeed the world, depends on a free and open Indo-Pacific enduring and flourishing in the decades ahead. This is about investing in our greatest source of strength, our alliances, and updating them to better meet the threats of today and tomorrow. It's about connecting America's existing allies and partners in new ways and amplifying our ability to collaborate, recognizing there is no regional divide separating the interests of our Atlantic and Pacific partners. Indeed, this effort reflects a broader trend of key European countries playing an extremely important role in the Indo-Pacific. France, in particular, already has substantial Indo-Pacific presence and is a key partner and ally in strengthening the security and prosperity of the region. The United States looks forward to working closely with France and other key countries as we go forward. And finally, this initiative is about making sure that each of us has a modern capability, the most modern capabilities we need to maneuver and defend against rapidly evolving threats. AUKUS will bring together our sailors, our scientists, and our industries to maintain and expand our edge and military capabilities and critical technologies such as cyber, artificial intelligence, quantum technologies, and undersea domains. I want to be exceedingly clear about this. We're not talking about nuclear-armed submarines. These are conventionally armed submarines that are powered by nuclear reactors. This technology is proven, it's safe. And the United States and the UK have been operating nuclear-powered submarines for decades.
AUKUS will also enhance our contribution to our growing network of partnerships in the Indo-Pacific region. ANZUS, our ASEAN friends, our bilateral strategic partners, the Quad, Five Eyes countries, and of course our dear Pacific family. The first major initiative of AUKUS will be to deliver a nuclear-powered submarine fleet for Australia. Over the next 18 months, we will work together to seek to determine the best way forward to achieve this. This will include an intense examination of what we need to do to exercise our nuclear stewardship responsibilities here in Australia. We intend to build these submarines in Adelaide, Australia, in close cooperation with the United Kingdom and the United States. But let me be clear, Australia is not seeking to acquire nuclear weapons or establish a civil nuclear capability. And we will continue to meet all our nuclear non-proliferation obligations. Australia has a long history of defence cooperation with the United States and the United Kingdom. For more than a century, we have stood together for the cause of peace and freedom, motivated by the beliefs we share, sustained by the bonds of friendship we have forged, enabled by the sacrifice of those who have gone before us, and inspired by our shared hope for those who will follow us. And so today, friends, we recommit ourselves to this cause and a new AUKUS vision.
I'm delighted to join President Biden and Prime Minister Morrison to announce that the United Kingdom, Australia, and the United States are creating a new trilateral defence partnership known as AUKUS, with the aim of working hand in glove to preserve security and stability in the Indo-Pacific. We're opening a new chapter in our friendship, and the first task of this partnership will be to help Australia acquire a fleet of nuclear-powered submarines, emphasizing, of course, that the submarines in question will be powered by nuclear reactors, not armed with nuclear weapons. And our work will be fully in line with our non-proliferation obligations. This will be one of the most complex and technically demanding projects in the world, lasting for decades and requiring the most advanced technology. It will draw on the expertise that the UK has acquired over generations, dating back to the launch of the Royal Navy's first nuclear submarine over 60 years ago. And together with the other opportunities from AUKUS, creating hundreds of highly skilled jobs across the United Kingdom, including in Scotland, the north of England, and the Midlands, taking forward this government's driving purpose of levelling up across the whole country.
The US, the UK and Australia's cooperation in nuclear submarines severely damages regional peace and stability, intensifies the arms race and jeopardizes international efforts in promoting the non-proliferation of nuclear weapons. The US and the UK's action of exporting highly sensitive nuclear submarine technology once again proves that they are using nuclear exports as a tool for geopolitical games. This is a highly irresponsible act. Australia is a non-nuclear weapon-holding signatory to the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, as well as a signatory to the South Pacific Nuclear Free Zone Treaty. Importing nuclear submarine technology that has strategic and military values gives reasons for the international community, including its surrounding countries, to question its commitment to maintain the non-proliferation of nuclear weapons. China will closely follow the development of the relevant situations.
Arise correspondent ANIL SENGHERA has been monitoring this story, and he joins us now. Hi, ANIL. Can you tell us the significance of this new strategic partnership between the US, the UK and Australia?
How this is hugely significant, a real pivotal moment. The fact that you have this new security partnership in the Asia-Pacific region, which will see the UK and the US provide Australia with the technology and the capability to deploy nuclear-powered submarines. Now, we know the agreement also involves things like the sharing of information and technology in a number of other areas, including intelligence and quantum technology. But and also the acquisition of cruise missiles. But it's the nuclear submarines which are key. They're going to be built in Adelaide, in South Australia. We understand that over perhaps a decade, we understand that some 8 nuclear-powered submarines will be built. And just to put into context, the US have only shared nuclear-powered technology with one country in its history, and that was with the UK back in the late 1950s. So such a long time ago, and I don't think you'll have the US sharing this type of technology with any other country going forward. Australia will become the only 6 countries in the world have this type of technology. So Australia is joining a pretty illustrious club. It's going to become a very powerful deterrent capability, although crucially, as we heard there from all the 3 leaders, it won't provide Australia with nuclear missiles. It just means these subs will be they won't be nuclear armed, but they will be nuclear powered. And these nuclear powered submarines are very difficult to detect. They very stealth. They operate a lot easier than conventional submarines. So this will have enormous ramifications for the region. Now, we didn't hear the C word. The C word was not mentioned, but of course, this is, most analysts believe, all about countering the threat from Beijing. China has made great territorial gains in the South China Seas over the last 10, 12 years. And this is a way of countering what many countries in the region perceive as a great threat, particularly those other smaller in the region, countries like Australia. They feel deeply threatened by China's expansionist aims over the last 10 years, and also their economic interests have been threatened by China and its gains in the territorial South China Seas. Now, the timing of this is also really significant. It comes just less than around a month after the US withdrawal from Afghanistan, when many capitals across the world are really questioning US commitment, not only in the region, but also in the wider world. Were the US now going to walk away from its global commitments? But this is clearly a real paradigm shift in US, Australian and UK strategic and defense policy.
Now, briefly, how has China responded?
Well, we heard there, Aaron, from the Foreign Ministry spokesman. They are pretty angry and they're pretty seething. Strong words there. They, especially towards Australia, they said the international community, including neighbouring countries, had reason to question Australia's sincerity. All three countries had severely undermined regional peace and stability, intensified the arms race. They should abandon what they called as outdated Cold War zero-sum mentality. Otherwise, they would only shoot themselves in the foot. So it's clear that Beijing are very upset. That was, of course, to be expected. And it's remarkable to see the speed and the deterioration of relations between Canberra and Beijing. In the space of 2 years, relations have completely broken down, where you have Australia now, in the next 10 years, building a nuclear-powered submarine against the perceived threat in its #1 trading partner. So the deterioration of relations between Australia and China has been remarkable.
Wow. All right. Thank you for that. ANIL SENGHERA reporting live.